Hi guys, I'm Bri.
And I'm Allie, and this is Offscript.
If you think about it, books are potential scripts for movies.
When this adaptation happens, typically it's disappointing because they went off script.
In this series, we will be talking about how off script they went. Ready?
Yes.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
To Offscript. I know we usually say hi, guys. I switched it on us.
I know. I'm Bri.
I'm Allie.
And we read books and then watch movies and compare the two.
Yeah.
Just random ones, too.
Yes. Good job. That was
Thanks.
a great description.
Thanks.
Don't you hate it when the movies go off script?
Always.
Yes.
All right. Guys,
We have such big news.
yeah. Take it away, Ern.
We
Earl? Ern.
we can't remember every time. I think it's Ern.
I think it is Ern, too. I can't make this joke if I can't know the name.
From our, third episode.
Our third episode. That's just my freaking,
I know, but that's when the joke started.
well, for us.
For the
yeah.
podcast.
Yeah. For us. For me, it started in whenever the third Harry Potter movie came out.
We should remember since we did that one, but we don't.
We did that almost a year ago.
I know.
Isn't that insane?
Oh my god.
Like we're embarking slowly on when we started recording Harry Potter.
We already have passed it because I remember us recording at Christmas time and stuff like that. We're almost to the point when we've released Harry Potter. Is that what you meant to say?
No, we recorded at Christmas time just last year.
Yeah, but we did for Harry Potter. For the second one. Because you're eating your Christmas candy that I gave you.
Whoa.
Yeah. So we've been recording.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember because I made fun of you for chewing the candy in the microphone. So we've been recording over a year now.
My brain cannot fathom that. I'm like, because when was our Westport trip?
July
Of?
2021.
Oh, shit.
Right? 2021. Yeah.
Oh, we have been recording for... Whoa.
Isn't that crazy? Ernie is the bus driver's name,
Ern,
by
take
the
it
way.
away, Ern.
Jump back. Yeah.
June 3rd, 2022.
That was when we first recorded? Oh, no.
That was Order of the Phoenix.
Okay. Do you see the first one?
Oh, wait, here's Prisoner, Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah.
Sorcerer. Philosopher's Stone. January 22nd, 2022.
Wow.
We've been doing this for a year.
Isn't that crazy? January. We definitely were doing it when we did our friend's Christmas. Oh, that's when you edited it.
No, if I was eating the Christmas candy in...
Did we do our friend's Christmas after?
Yeah, I think so. I think it makes
that year
sense.
we did. You're right.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? We've been recording over a year.
That's so my brain still can't. I'm like, no, wait, that's not right. That was just 2 years ago, 2 months ago. That's insane. Oh my god.
I know, it's been so fun.
That's insane.
And with all this hard work, over a year's worth of hard work, you guys.
Somehow it's paying off.
Oh my gosh, because our huge news, we are in... What?
What are we?
We are in 31 countries.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, insane.
We just reached...
Spain just came on.
What? Hey, Spain!
What's up? Italy, too.
My hometown!
Mm-hmm.
My hometown.
Oh, my hometown. We also just recently got the Ukraine.
Oh,
I was excited about that.
That's exciting.
Yeah. There's quite a few good ones.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
And then we've got 100 followers on Facebook.
I thought you were going to say downloads.
Oh, no, 100 followers on Facebook, which is not a lot, but
for us, it's a lot.
Way more than we thought.
I'm impressed.
My gosh. And then our downloads, you guys.
Yes. Guys, we hit 1,000 downloads.
Oh my gosh. gosh, that's so exciting.
It's insane. And then I swear, after 1,000, like, our numbers have only just continued to go up.
That's so
And
exciting.
I'm like, holy crap.
Really, I was like, when we started this, I was like, okay, so me, you, my mom, couple friends, check.
Yes.
That's all they're ever going to listen to us.
I knew Alyssa. I thought Alyssa would drop off. I thought she, after Harry Potter, would be like, oh my God, you guys are annoying.
You guys are horrible.
Can you just shut up already?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's insane.
this just is,
So thank you.
yes, thank you, everybody.
You guys rock.
I know. My goodness.
Yeah.
Can't say more good things about you. There's just too much to say.
Yes. Keep going, Allie.
Yes.
You can keep saying it. Take it away, Erin. Now that I know it's Erin.
I really got nothing else. Thanks, guys.
She says how she's wearing her off-script shirt.
Yeah, guys. We made off-script shirts.
Yes.
I mean, they're not for sale right now because we could make them for sale. If we get enough people
Yeah.
interested,
Yeah, we'll sell them
For
for
sure,
you.
but-
Absolutely.
buying one-offs is not very cost-friendly right now.
No.
This was a very expensive
No,
shirt.
It
and
was very expensive.
so, but if we get a bunch of people that want them and we do like bulk orders, I mean,
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Or we could maybe set up a website for it too.
yes, we could do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we want to know some of our key.
Yeah, what are some of our funny phrases that you
Phrases,
enjoy?
Yeah. Like,
What do we say all the time that's great?
I know, because we were trying to figure it out. All I got is paint a picture.
Alan made me laugh really hard because I told him that me and Allie were making shirts and we were trying to figure out something to put on the back of them because we weren't sure. Because I said that I wanted things to that like we said all the time, and he goes, Johnny Depp, Harry Potter, the sixth one, the one that you always talk about, Robert Pattinson, Twilight. I was like,
I really thought yours should be next episode,
Twilight.
That's what I thought you should have put on
Dude,
yours.
I should
Yes.
actually.
Yeah.
What's funny is when you said it, I was like, that's lame. Why would I do that? But now I'm like,
wow. Then Alan says it. You're like, genius. I see.
No.
I see how it is. All right. Alan, come take my spot. You got this.
no, you said it after he said that.
Oh.
But no, just how you said it. Because what I could do is like next episode, ... and like do
Twilight.
it like at the bottom or something.
Yes.
I can make it
anyways.
funny.
So yeah, guys, just
Help us out.
yeah. What are some key phrases?
Help us come up with some designs.
because we can make stickers. We can do like a bunch of other
I
stuff.
bet we could even do car decals.
Car decals. We can do. I bet we can get like on little like coffee mugs or whatever. If we have some
Mhm.
good slogans that would be worth being
Doing
on a mug
this
or
with.
anywhere else.
being on a mug.
But we need your help.
Uh,
All right. Anyways,
send us emails.
yes,
Talk to us on Facebook. Talk to us on Instagram.
yes. Our email is
Offscript253.
@gmail.com. All right, guys, let's begin. We are on season 2, episode 16. So I only count the episodes as like our main episodes. I never count the minisodes as an episode. Is that what everybody
Correct.
else does?
Well, that's what I do.
Okay.
That's how I put them out.
All right. Okay. Glad it's not just me. Because I'm really curious. I wonder what episode we're really at. Like total.
Anchor tells us. Hold on.
Okay.
I think we're at like 40 something.
What?
46. 46
46.
episodes. Yeah, I
Cool.
saw that the other day on the website where we post our episodes, and I was like, we do not have 46. But that's also including episodes that have not released yet
Mm-hmm.
and our mini-sodes.
Yes.
And I was like, oh.
Well, by
So
the
we
time this
do.
comes out, they'll all be released.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's exciting. I'm so proud of us.
Very exciting. Mm-hmm. I know. Look at us go.
Yep.
Look at us continue to go.
Yahoo.
We've been doing it for a year now.
I know.
We missed our 1 year, like
I kind of don't count that as our 1 year. I think our 1 year is
August.
August 1st.
I agree.
Yes.
Because, yeah, that's what I would, that's why I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. No, August is our 1 year.
In my head, we started recording like 2 or 3 months before that.
Yeah, right. We did really good. We recorded we had freaking 7 months before,
Why
and
did
we only had
suck?
6 episodes banked. Not even. By the time, yeah.
We only had like 3 or 4.
Is that
No, we
horrible?
didn't even have 4.
Wow. Oh my word. What was going on with us back then? Think of if we were more prepared. We wouldn't have been as stressed as we've been
We
these
could
last few
have
weeks.
saved ourselves.
Guys, we've been like reading a book a week because we're like, oh my gosh.
We kind of, I don't think I explained on the podcast yet. We got to a point where I was scheduling our recordings for our books, and it got to a week where I was putting it for this Saturday, and I was like, okay, so we're doing this book. Then I looked and I was like, oh shoot, that's supposed to be what comes out that Monday before the Saturday.
Yeah. So we were like, so now we're having to read a book a week to get caught up.
Mm-hmm.
Been quite stressful,
Mm-hmm.
but
trying to at some point get like 2 books in a week.
yeah, wish us luck, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
We got some shorter ones
We've
coming up.
actually done great.
We're
I know.
doing pretty good.
I realized I put 2 longer ones back to back.
Yep, you did, but that's okay. It is what it is.
I was thinking that today, and I was like, what was I thinking?
That's okay.
I know what I was thinking, but I wasn't pre-planning for us to screw up.
That's okay. We got this.
But now I kind of know to do that.
Yes. Look at length and future. That's
I
all right.
still don't look at the link.
No, you
don't.
don't. That's okay.
I'll just make it pretty.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Anyways, you guys, let's start. So let's paint a picture.
Let's.
I actually think we did
We
a pretty
already
good
did,
painting
yeah.
picture. We
I
are
know.
so
I just said
excited.
let's, and honestly, I think we've already we could just jump right in.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we're so excited. That's our picture painting.
Thank you guys.
Yes. All right. So we are doing The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I forgot what the book was called for a second.
I was wondering what that
I was
dramatic
like,
pause was. I was like,
what was it called? Perks of Being a Wallflower. And we are going to give a trigger warning. This is a very high depression
yes.
book. So it
Yes.
talks about depression a whole lot. There is sexual assault in it as well. So
As well as
yeah, so sexual assault and abuse, and it's just a very deep book. It has lighthearted moments, but there is like a lot of serious matter mixed in. So
yes.
we wanted to give a warning out for that.
Yes.
And alrighty, let's do it. So the author is Stephen Chbosky.
I think so.
Okay.
Chbosky.
Chbosky. The director is Stephen Chbosky. The screenplay writer is Stephen Chbosky. So in reality, this book should be exactly
Perfect.
the same. Let's see. Oh, and then last week we started doing the audiobook reader. So I'm going to give this audiobook reader a shout out, and it's Noah Galvin.
Yeah.
I need to ask you right now, though. Reading it,
Yes.
did you read Charlie sort of on the spectrum? Did he seem to be on the spectrum?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Okay, I really felt like it with this audiobook reader. Just
wow.
because he was so particular about certain things
Okay.
and how he read them with, I don't really know how to describe it. It just, he sounded not like high on the spectrum.
Yeah.
But he seemed a little,
I mean, when you say it, it feels like Logan Lerman played it like that, possibly, but
Yeah.
also not. No.
because I didn't know if
If it was written like that.
it was written like that or, yeah.
I mean, I feel like because of how it's written as letters, there are times where it's kind of like, dude, why are you rambling about this? Or like,
Yeah.
why are you telling me about this story? But at the same time, I think it's someone with depression who's dealing with things who is hyper focusing on things that are like, this is notable. I should tell you about this because this affected me in some way. So you should know about this.
Yeah, that was the thing I didn't know if it was a depression
Mhm.
thing Like, and that's why they were fixating on things, or if he was on the spectrum and fixating on things. So,
No, I think it was depression.
okay.
When reading.
When reading it. Okay. I just couldn't, yeah. So that's why I wanted to ask. Okay.
All right.
Cool. Anyways, so the book came out February 1st, 1999.
Yeah.
Movie September 21st, 2012.
Yeah.
13-year difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And which did you first? Which first?
I read the book first.
I watched the movie first.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And so we've started. I think I mentioned this in
Yes, you did.
Spectacular Now.
Yep.
I saw this movie first when it came to theaters. Or, no, I didn't see it in theaters, but like just to DVD.
I'm sad you didn't see it in theaters.
I don't think I did.
Oh, I did.
I know. And so I made sure to watch it again, which is a good thing I did because I, again, thought I remembered the movie. Nope, didn't remember it. So I'm glad.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I'm glad
What
I
is this movie?
rewatched it right before reading it.
Good.
So yeah, so we'll get actual theory
Comparisons.
Yes, theory to see if the theory is right. Like, oh man, I feel like I just haven't shut up. I'm so out of breath.
What are your initial thoughts?
Oh my word. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
It was very different.
Yeah.
With it being in letter form.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll talk about it more when we're comparing, but I really found it interesting how it not only was in letter form, it's not only like it was a book converted into letter form, it read like they were his letters.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found it very interesting. And I suffered with depression right after Cam passed, but I don't feel like it was for long enough to, I mean, I guess I don't know. It was a specific type of depression, right? Grief. And so it was just kind of eye-opening at different types of depression that there are. And so it was very heavy.
Yes.
But it was really good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love this book because when I read it, it was before I really was open and honest with myself about my depression. And so a lot of times when he was talking about things, I was like, dude, this is exactly how I felt. Like, this is me. Like, it's almost like I wrote these letters. Like, what? Obviously, his depression is brought on by things that I don't have experience in. So then at a certain point, I was like, then I got into the bad habit of, oh, but his is worse than mine. Like, he's in a different boat than I am. So maybe I don't know what he's experiencing, which is a horrible, like, you don't want to do that. Like,
no.
Especially when you're reading this. But it was just, I remember when I was reading it, it was like my mom had just had surgery. And so she had to go to physical therapy. And so it was summertime. She was in physical therapy and I was in the car reading and I had like all the windows rolled down and I can't remember what part it got to, but it just like, it made me cry. And I was like, this kid gets me. Like,
No.
Yeah. So I have a very special place for this book in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, but it's also very hard for me to read too often. So it's kind of like, I think I've read it 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I think I initially read it, then I read it right before it came out.
Uh-huh.
And now.
Cool. Well, this is my first read. So
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I read this after I think Go Ask Alice, which is another, that's a heavy book.
Yeah.
And I think I was reading it on my Kindle and my Kindle was like, if you like this, you'll like this.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, that looks good. I'll read it. And then I was like, life changed.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So why did we pick this book?
Because it has a special place in my heart.
Oh, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very good answer.
Thank you.
All right. Are we ready for my Allie's Super Fun
Yeah.
Okay. So, Stephen Chbosky knew that he wanted to cast Emma Watson once he saw her in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. That's why I chose this fun fact for you.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's amazing.
It was the scene when Ron breaks her heart and Harry's consoling
Oh,
her.
my favorite scene in
Yes.
that movie, too.
And Chbosky said, "She broke my heart in that scene. She is crying, and I just felt that she had all the vulnerability that Sam needed."
Oh.
I know. And this was Emma Watson's first big role after
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. So
Mhm.
how perfect.
Ah.
Okay. In number 2, in Entertainment Weekly, Emma Watson reported that she took the role because Stephen Chbosky.
I know.
I keep
Chbosky?
I keep saying Sherbatsky because that's Robin from How I Met Your Mother, and that's just stuck in my head. But anyway, sorry, Stephen. He told her that not only is this going to be one of the most important parts you play, you're also going to have the summer of your life and meet some of your best friends. And she reported that claim was true.
Oh,
I know.
that's cute.
Yeah. I didn't go back and watch this to see if this one was true. But the living room dance scene that Sam and Patrick do at the dance is the same routine done in Friends by Monica and Ross.
Now that you say it, I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay, I thought it was when I was watching it, but I was like, I just think that because it's a dance routine, right? But, oh my gosh, I thought that was so fun.
I love that.
Yes, right?
Yep.
Which, I mean, makes sense, brother, sister.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
And it would have been, the only difference is technically
This
was released way before that episode in the book.
in like timeline. Yes.
Not
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Okay. This
Wait.
one. What?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
His Friends came out
Because
in 94.
Sorry, I'm thinking book came out in 99.
No.
Book timeline.
Book did come out in 99, but
Book starts August 25th, 1991, which is one of my favorite tidbits because
it's your birthday.
August 25th, 1992 is my birthday.
I know, and they skipped my birthday. It was January 25th, and they skipped January 26th. I was like, man.
I know. And then I think the last letter or one of the last letters, the last letter is August 23rd, 1992.
Oh.
I'm like,
so close.
clearing open 2 days later.
Yep. All right. Fun fact number 4. John Hughes originally bought the film rights with the intention to write and direct.
Whoa.
He intended to make the film as a dark comedy with Shia LaBeouf to play Charlie and Kristen Dunst to play Sam.
No.
Patrick Fugit, I don't know who that is.
Me neither.
To play Patrick. Hughes' sudden death stalled the production.
Oh.
And as he did not complete a script before his passing... Oh, that's why it stalled, because he didn't complete his script. This allowed the film to be revived as an independent movie with Stephen Chbosky. See, I did it again. Chbosky returning to write and direct.
All right.
Yeah. Last one. When the families is eating the penguin... eating the penguins.
We're back to Twilight, everyone.
Oh my gosh. When the family is eating dinner at the end of the movie, Charlie asks his dad how he thinks the Penguins will do this year. His dad replies that they will suck and need to learn defense. But in reality, the Penguins went to win their first Stanley Cup that year.
That's great.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Let's get started. Okay. So, like we said, it's written in letter forms. So, all the chapters start with a date, and Charlie is writing to a friend who
Dear friend.
is us technically. It's technically someone else, but
But we the readers
are the friends right now. And so in this first bit, we learn about his family. He has a big brother, sister, mom, dad, and someone who was really important is his Aunt Helen. But she was his favorite person in the whole wide world. Something bad happened to her growing up, and he really wanted to know why. And he kept bugging her to know why, but it made her cry one day. And so his dad smacked him in the face saying, like, stop asking. And we also learned that Aunt Helen had passed away. And another person that passed away was his best friend Michael, and he died of suicide a year before this him writing to us started. And there was a grief group that Charlie had to go to, and he was like sobbing through all of it. But not like, it was like a different type of crying. It wasn't like sitting there grieving crying. It was like almost panicky crying, right? And he's writing because he's really nervous to start high school tomorrow. And kids already were bullying him. And so he hit the bullies, and like he ended up crying again. His sister had to come get him, and he just made no friends this first week.
Which kind of happens in the movie, but you don't find out about Michael and the suicide in the start of the movie. And it also starts out with, he kind of like pinpoints the certain people that he would like to be hanging out with, but they don't hang out with him. And one of them is Brad, because his brother played football with him. I was like, that does not happen in the book. And the only reason it happens is because Brad becomes a big character in the book. So it was the movie's way of tying him in with Charlie, but I didn't think it needed that because Brad's role is big enough on its own.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
Charlie writes back, and he says that he loves reading books, and whenever he finishes a book, it's his new favorite book. And I thought that was so cute. And he usually reads them twice. And his
see, guys, it's not that weird. Actually, did you know that people typically with like anxiety and depression tend to go to the same things over and over because it's comforting, because they know what's going to happen.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So his English teacher told him to call him Bill outside of class. And so the whole rest of the book, he refers to him as Bill. Actually, that was a fun fact, that in the movies, we only get his last name and never his first name. And in the book, we only get his first name, never his last name. Yeah. Because actually, Charlie's, at the beginning, he said he doesn't ever name his sister or brother, or because he's trying to keep them as anonymous as possible.
And he also changes everyone's name. So his name isn't Charlie, but that's how we come to know him.
Yep. And so Bill is giving him extra books and having him write extra papers, so that because he really enjoys reading. And so
I would be so upset if one of my teachers gave me extra papers to write because I enjoyed reading. Like, you see me reading another book, you want to make me write about it?
Well, Charlie didn't seem upset.
I was going to say
all.
Charlie wanted to be a writer, so he was okay with it. But I would have been like, you write me a paper.
I feel like if Charlie was like, he would have not, especially since this isn't grade book stuff.
Yeah.
So
no, this is a good teacher. It was a teacher seeing that this kid needed a lifeboat and was tossing it to him in this way.
I know. I love him. All right. So we learned that Charlie's sister is really mean to boys. And she has a current boyfriend. And she was just making fun of him because he didn't stick up for himself when he was 15 or something like that. And she even shared how Charlie got in a fight the first day of school. And so this boyfriend smacks her in the face. And Charlie was there. And so he sees it. And she's like, don't say anything. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And they go and leave and go on a date. And then later he finds them making love in the... Why are you making fun of me?
Because you did this in the last one too.
I just can't. They were doing it.
What's funny is in Twilight you could.
I know.
What changed?
I don't know.
Talking about Edward, man. Maybe more Team Edward.
Oh, no. But they were in the basement, and he is what the heck? And she's like, get out. And that's, how that relationship's going.
Yeah. That happens later in the movie. All right, so this happens later in the movie. Not too much later, but it pretty much happens the same, except for they don't have sex in the movie. And she doesn't say that Charlie got in a fight in his first week. She just is yelling at him, and then he slaps her.
All right. So there's this kid in Charlie's shop class, and his name is Nothing. He's like, Charlie's like writing. He's like, seriously, his name is Nothing. It was really cute. He got this name because people used to call him Patty when he was in middle school. And he's like, my name is Patrick or Nothing. And so then they started calling him Nothing. And Nothing began to make fun of the shop teacher. And it was like a huge laugh. And Charlie hadn't laughed that long in a long time.
Yes.
That much in a long time. Let me fix that sentence right there. Goodness.
In the movie, though, when Patrick is doing the impersonation, right? Is that what it's called? Impersonation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that sounded weird as it came out of my mouth. I was like, that's not a word. In the book, the teacher likes it. In the movie, the teacher does not like it.
Yep.
And I did not like that.
I know. Because it was the... Oh, sorry, you finish.
No, you finish.
I was just saying it was the teacher then who gave him the nickname Nothing.
No? Oh, who like said it so that Charlie knew?
Well, yeah, because he called him Patty Cake or something like that when he was making fun of him in the movie. And that's when Patrick...
Oh, I missed this.
Yeah, and that's when Patrick says, my name is Patrick or Nothing. He's like, okay, Nothing, go sit down. And that's who gave him the nickname.
I missed that because my next vote was also know nothing, ? And then Patrick brings it up at the football game.
Oh, nope. Teacher gave it to him.
Okay. That's stupid.
I know. What a horrible teacher.
I don't like that at all.
No. So Charlie's like, I got a C on my To Kill a Mockingbird essay. I love that Bill is grading his papers. It's not just turn it in. He's like giving him a grade on them too.
Right.
And it's because he had lots of run-on sentences and he doesn't use vocab from class in his papers. So reading it, did you notice his writing had a lot of run-on sentences?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't hear it very well with listening to it. So I was wondering if you could see it better.
Yeah, because like there's not a whole heck of a lot of punctuation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one long sentence. And you're like, okay, when is my like break stopping point? Yeah.
That makes sense. So he said he's going to try and prove this in his letters as well. And so as he's
I guess hearing it, you couldn't really.
That's why I was wondering.
You're like, there is no run-ons.
I assume there was. I mean,
that would be really dumb.
So he's just remembering, like, memories, and he's sharing all these memories with us. And there's this one memory he had of watching MASH together as a family and how it was like this episode and everybody was crying and his dad even went and made a sandwich and Charlie went in there and he saw he was crying too. And it was like their little secret. And he really likes his parents, even though he doesn't really understand them. But he's like, I know a lot of kids don't like their parents, but I really like my parents. And I just thought it was a little sweet moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That doesn't happen in the book.
Movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I just said it, Bri. It happened in the book.
Sorry.
It's okay.
It's bound to happen.
Anyways. So now Charlie went to a football game and he saw Nothing there. But you know what? He's going to call him Patrick from now on because that's how he introduced himself to Charlie. So from now on, he calls him Patrick. And Patrick also introduces Charlie to Sam. And Patrick was super into the game. He kept yelling at the quarterback, Brad, about like the plays he was doing. And after the game was over, the three of them went and got some food. And Charlie said how they seemed really happy together. And they all started laughing. And we find out that they are step siblings, which made Charlie very happy because he loves Sam. And this part, I thought it was so funny. So that night he had a sex dream of Sam. And he felt really bad. He wanted to tell her and apologize.
Could you imagine if someone did?
I would feel
I'm so sorry.
Awkward. But I mean, if he did it like that, I'm so sorry I had this dream about you. I feel so bad. I mean, it would be funny. It wouldn't be awkward, I feel. Like, it would be awkward, but not to the point where it's like, oh no, don't ever come near me again. Like, I think it would be.
If you knew that one of your guy friends had had a sex dream about you,
But if he came up to me and like was sincerely apologizing, not just laughing and making fun of it, and it wouldn't be a guy friend, it would be a guy I just met. That makes it actually worse. Yeah, I heard that after I said it. Yeah.
You said it so like, this proves my point.
Right when the words came out of my mouth, I was like, oh, that's kind of actually really weird.
What's funny is I forgot about that when I was like arguing this. I was like, hold on.
Oh, crap.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
no. Okay. So the football game happens. But before this, I had realized everything that happens with his sister happens kind of like way out of... Or wait, you didn't mention it at all. That's why.
What?
That his sister's boyfriend makes mixtapes and gives it to him.
Yeah, I didn't put
Yeah.
that in there. You can put that in there.
I am putting
Okay.
it in there because Charlie finds a song called "Asleep" by the Smiths. And I love that they put it in the movie because every time I read it, I'm like, oh, I need to go and find it. So then when I just watched it, I was like, yes, thank you. And I love that song. I like, ooh, I should just put it on my phone.
Mhm.
Also in the movie, you see Charlie taking meds. He never says in the book that he's taking meds. He does tell you that there was a bad time before and he doesn't want to get as bad as he was before. So you can kind of assume. And this is when I start to think that Steven maybe put things in the movie that he, in his head, knew were going on in the book, but left out for some reason.
Yeah.
So that might be why that difference is there, but I also don't like it because, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's funny is you don't mention any of the music parts, and that's, of course, what I'm going to talk about.
That's fine.
After the game, when the three of them go to get food in the book, they're, like, just chit-chatting, and they ask Charlie his favorite band, and he, of course, says the Smiths because that's the song that he's listening to and into right now. So then he asks them, and they both say Nirvana. And I love that just because we're in Washington, and so
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, Kurt. Then also, Charlie paid for the dinner after the game for everyone. Like, Patrick and Sam drop him off, and they go, "Thanks for dinner, Charlie," and then just drive off.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's kind of messed up. Like in the book, he never says who paid. So he could have by all means paid to kind of be like, hey, we're friends now. But Sam and Patrick in the movie weren't like immediately like, you're our person, like they are in the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're kind of like,
And I don't feel like Sam and Patrick's personality would be like take advantage of a freshman and
Yeah.
have him pay.
no.
All right. So back to awkward Charlie. He does tell Sam that he had a dream about her, and she just laughed. And she's like, you know, I'm too old for you, right? Because she's a senior. They're all seniors, and he's a freshman. And he's like, yeah, I know. And she went and they went to hang out with Patrick because they were skipping class to smoke. And Charlie went and spoke to Bill about why do certain people fall in love with the wrong people. And then he told him about his sister and her boyfriend. And Charlie walks home every day. So he's walking home. So he gets home way later than everybody else because he wants to he wants to tell his kids that he walked
Both ways.
Yes, just like his grandparents did. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cute.
I really hated in Flagstaff. My first few times going from North Campus to South Campus, I was like, yeah, I can walk this totally. But like, it would take 45 minutes. And sometimes I only had a half hour between classes. So I was like, no, you had to take the shuttle. But sometimes the shuttles would have like 40 people on them already. And it was like a small school bus. So there were times where I was like, okay, you just have to walk. I think I ended up, Sierra let me borrow one of her old bikes that she wasn't using back at home anymore. And she had her bike. And like, at first I was using hers all the time. And then she was like, Mom, Dad, bring up my other one. It's like, thanks. But before that, I would have to it would take 45 minutes. And I swear, walking to and from, it was a hill both ways. And I hated it. And then when it would snow, I really, like, what would get me through my walks would be, I'm so pissed that I get to live this whole stupid, when I was your age, I would walk both ways uphill in the snow. I was like, well, now no one can say that to me because guess what? I did it too.
That's awesome.
So then I really love that Charlie does that.
Yes. And so Charlie gets home and he sees his mom and dad and sister's crying and dad's looking angry and mom's sitting like quiet. And Bill had obviously called and told what boyfriend did. And dad was like, you're never to see this boy again. I'm going to speak to his parents right now. And he leaves. And sister's like, I hate you to Charlie. And his dad is like very upset about this because he doesn't believe in hitting. Like, we find out that one slap was the only slap that ever happened growing up. And he profusely apologized to Charlie about it. And so he's just very like, I'm going to help my daughter, which he was a good dada.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wish this happened in the movie. Mm-hmm. This does not happen in the movie because the whole thing with the sister and the boyfriend still hasn't happened yet. The slap yet. That happens still way later. So Charlie does end up asking Mr. Anderson about why certain people fall in love with the wrong person. And Mr. Anderson says, are we talking about a certain person? Like trying to figure it out. And Charlie just keeps tight-lipped and doesn't bring up his sister.
Mm-hmm.
So there's our difference there.
Yep. And in the movie, at that point when he asks Mr. Anderson, was Sam and Craig together already?
Yeah, it was kind of like at the point where everything was starting to fall apart for him.
Yeah. So I bet Sam and Craig and sister and boyfriend, that was both of them.
Yeah, tied into one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not just. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So back to the book. So Bill told Charlie that he needs to start participating more. Like, he's got to get the high school experience. Like, come on, it'll be fun. And so Charlie went to the school dance and he recognized the person at the dance. And this is when he had a memory of his brother throwing a party in high school at his house. And he was not little. I mean, how old is his brother's graduated now and he's a freshman. So I don't know, 4 or 5 years younger than his brother, probably.
Yeah.
5, because his brother's a freshman.
Well,
Oh, but Charlie was held back a year. So probably 4 years younger.
yeah.
So he would have been, I don't know. Well, he was told to stay in his room. I guess age doesn't matter. And I mean, I guess it kind of does because it's a little creepier the younger he gets. And because this couple comes in.
Oh, I forgot.
So he was probably like 8th grade is my guess. Because his brother's probably a senior. He was probably 8th grade.
Yeah.
A couple comes in and they're like making out. And the girl keeps saying no, like, because there's a kid in here. And the guy keeps pressuring her. And eventually some stuff happens. And Charlie realizes now that he's older and telling Sam about it that she was raped in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And this pissed Charlie off. Like, we sort of saw his rage and anger at the very beginning when he got in that fight with the kids at school already.
Yeah.
But here it was like Sam almost had to hold him back type of thing and like distract him. And so they went and let the tire out of his... Let's try that again.
I was really hoping you would finish it. Let the tire out of his air.
The air out of his tires so that he didn't get into a real fight. And after the dance was done, Charlie went to a party with Sam and Patrick. And he got to meet all their friends. And one of their friends offered him a brownie. And he's like, yes, I'm so hungry. And I love how he wrote it, too. I probably don't have to tell you what type of brownie that is. Like,
I know. I love that he assumes that we know what. He's like, it was a brownie. You probably already know what was in it.
Yes. He assumes we know some things and then assumes we don't know other things. Oh, man. Okay, so he's super high and he keeps saying he wants a milkshake. So Sam, after like the, oh my gosh, what did you guys do to him? Went and made him a milkshake. And he asks where the bathroom is. He goes try and find the bathroom, and he walks in on Patrick and Brad, the quarterback, making out. And Brad kind of freaks out, but Patrick's like, he's my friend. It's okay. He goes out and talks to Charlie and realizes Charlie is super high. And he's like, Brad doesn't want anyone knowing that this happened. Like, we're keeping it, quiet. And Charlie's, high, but it's like, okay, fine. And so then the party continues. And at the end of the party, Bob, the guy who gave him the brownie, toasted Charlie for being a wallflower. And then Charlie jumps back into his letter, and starts talking about the dance.
He's like, oh, but wait.
Yeah, wait, there's some details about the dance. Like Sam's dress and how on the way to the party, she stood up in the back of her pickup and the wind was blowing her dress and everything like that. And so this is kind of like what I was talking about how I like, it really feels like we're reading a letter. Because like it really reminded me writing like my letters to Cameron I used to write every night.
Yeah.
Because I would write and I'd go into detail and I'd be like, oh, but this happened
I forgot
too.
about this.
Yes. And so like I would go back. And so moments like this, I was like, no, it really feels like a personal little letter, not like a organized story that someone just slapped a date on to make it a letter.
Yeah.
So I really liked it.
Yeah. So in the movie, realize at some point, do you remember who asks him what he wants to be? Is that the teacher? Yeah, it was. Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. So in the movie, there's a scene with Mr. Anderson that I think it makes up for him giving back a grade on the paper, because that kind of happens. We don't officially like see the grades he's getting, but we see him turn in a paper and Mr. Anderson go like, oh, you want another one? Or things like that. And he, at one point, asked Charlie, what does he want to be when he grows up? So Charlie tells him that he wants to be a writer. But in the movie, he says it's because his aunt thought he was a really good writer. And so he wanted to be a writer. In the book, it's just, I want to be a writer. Like, no story really behind it. Just, that's what I want to be. I think I could be good at it.
Yeah.
I also then made a note that I was glad that they didn't try to modernize the movie, because it came out in 2012, but it's set in the 90s, and I really like that.
So they kept the cassette tapes and all that sort
no
of stuff.
cell phones and everything like that. Yeah. So then the party basically happens kind of the same, except for, actually there's two pretty big differences. When Charlie is high, he tells Sam while she's making his milkshake about how his best friend killed himself last year.
Yep. So that's when we find that out.
Yeah. So then it almost seems like Sam is being nice to him only because of this brand new information. Because like everything that proceeds to happen after this, it doesn't feel as sincere as it does in the book, in the movie.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't, I wouldn't say that's the main feeling she's giving off is, pity. But yeah, it doesn't feel as
because
sincere.
Then after everything, he finds Patrick and Brad in a room, not in a closet.
Yeah.
They were in a bedroom on a bed making out in the movie. And then when Patrick comes down, he finds Sam, and Sam whispers to him about what Charlie told her. And then Patrick goes and toasts Charlie.
Yeah.
And so then it feels like the toast is only happening because they're like, oh, his best friend died.
Yeah.
We should include him in this. Rather than in the book where it's like, Bob's like, you're a cool dude.
I know. I loved it.
Also, I made note that a lot of the letter monologues that happen in the book are in the movie. But the thing that I don't like about it is that typically it's Sam or Patrick saying them. And usually it's like how it's written. It's not in a way that I would have wanted it to be said. Especially since I'm like, that's Charlie's thought. Like,
yeah.
Why are you saying it?
I know. I guess watching it first and then reading it, I
didn't pick up on any of this.
No.
Yeah.
So, Look at that, you guys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Two sides.
To the same story.
That's what we're here for. Should have been doing this for the last, 40 episodes.
Well, I also realized next is Beautiful Creatures, and I'm making you read it, and I also read it first. So that one's not going to be super different, but
that's all right.
I wanted you to get the story before you watch the movie.
Yeah, Bri not only has picked what we're reading, she's told me if I have to read or watch it first. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
God, I sound like I'm like demanding or something.
No,
you do this.
I'm really just, what do I do? Tell me what to do. Tell me when to do it. I'm good. Oh, man. All right. So we find out that one of Sam's friends, Sam and Patrick's friends, is Mary Elizabeth. And then we find more out about Brad and Patrick and that they've had a relationship going for a really long time. But unfortunately, Brad is pretty embarrassed about it. And he used to have to get drunk or high every time before they started fooling around. And the next day he'd wake up and he's like, man, I was so wasted. I don't even remember what happened. And this happened for a good 7 months. But something happened. Well, his parents found out that he was getting high and drunk and all this. And they put him in rehab. And so now he still fools around with Patrick, but he doesn't have to get wasted beforehand. So Patrick's like, it's a win. And Charlie got involved with the local Rocky Horror Picture Show magazine that Mary Elizabeth runs.
Yes.
And Sam plays Janet. Patrick plays Frankenfurter. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you glad that you've witnessed Rocky Horror Picture Show
Yes,
now?
it made so much more sense. Yes, I really liked it.
I realized when I was watching it, I was like, wow, the first time she watched this, she probably was like, what in the heck?
Yeah, I really had no idea. I mean, I
still
can't remember.
Yeah,
it's just a...
I'm actually really excited that Sierra, when she comes to visit, wants to go
I know,
and
it's
do
gonna be
it.
so
I'm like,
fun for
yes,
you
I
guys.
cannot wait. and did you like in the book when they talked about the Virgin Games?
Yes.
Because I warned Allie. I was like, I don't know if they're going to do it at Comic-Con, but usually when you go to see Rocky Horror, if you've never seen them, or technically I too think like if you haven't seen them in 6 months or whatever, you're supposed to consider yourself a virgin, but I've seen it enough. I'm not. Plus, I don't want to do the games. But I won't make anyone else with me do it.
Wow, I'm glad they didn't do them then.
But I warned Allie about them, and I gave her a brief overview of what they've done. Like the games that they made them play in the book are tame.
Oh, I
to
believe
what
it. Oh my gosh.
I've witnessed.
No, thank you.
I like that he taught his sister. And
I know. You're
it's just
jumping way
really
ahead.
quick. This is oh god, dude. Sorry.
I know.
I just love that part.
I know. You could have talked about all of that when I got there. But...
It's fine. It's perfect here.
Yes, it is. All right. So
It's my natural reaction.
I know. Charlie really likes to watch this, but it's really hard because Sam's in her underwear for a lot of it, and he's really trying hard not to think of her that way. And we find out Sam's dating a college guy named Craig, and he's a photographer, and Sam used to have a really bad reputation, and Charlie likes Craig. He's a nice guy, but when he takes a picture of Sam, he thinks it's a beautiful picture because of his skills, not because Sam is the one he's taking the picture of. And I thought that was the cutest. Oh my gosh. So sweet line. I was like, that's so sweet. And then we also find out that his sister is still seeing the boy she's not supposed to. And she tells Charlie not to worry, but he worries about her because
he's her brother.
Yeah.
So this part where we find out about Patrick and Brad and everything happens at school. But before that, we get another scene with Mr. Anderson. But he's talking to Charlie, and he talks to Charlie about his wife. In the book, she's girlfriend.
And they break up for a little bit.
Yeah. I was like, okay. Like, it's small differences like that. And then it's like the author of the book wrote and directed this too.
It was like 20 years later. He was probably like,
What did I do?
I guess it was 13 years later, but he was like, we'll just, that
You
work
can be
didn't really
married,
matter.
whatever.
He eventually got married.
Yeah, but it's cute because he invites Charlie to the wedding. So like,
I know, that was cute.
so that doesn't happen in the movie.
Nope.
So then when Patrick is telling Charlie about Brad and that whole story, Patrick comes up with, so I helped Brad get sober. My note literally says, excuse me, what?
Yeah.
Because Patrick did not help Brad get sober. So there's a big one. Also, before Rocky, Charlie's making Sam a mixtape. This doesn't happen in the book.
Mm-mm.
He never makes her a mixtape. I'm like, I get that music is a big thing for him,
Mhm.
and it's to show that he's into this girl, but why?
Everybody made each other mixtapes back then.
In the 90s, yes, it's true. And my next note is Rocky with a heart. When you get to the party after Rocky, it doesn't feel like Craig and Sam are together yet. It feels like they're just at Craig's house for a party and then they get together at this party or because of this party.
Yep.
Rather than, because it feels like the friend Alice is kind of hitting on him and trying to shoot her shot right when you first meet Craig.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole picture thing doesn't happen. You see a picture of her, of Sam, but you don't get the whole
cute line.
Yeah. This is also when a big difference comes up because Sam starts complaining to Charlie that she's screwing up her SATs because everyone's gone around the room and like, I got this. And she's like, yeah, I bombed with the SATs. I need help. And then Charlie's like, oh, I could help you with that.
When he's a freshman.
Yeah. Like a freshman who's kind of not doing the best in school. Like,
he got straight A's.
That's true. He did.
But at freshman stuff, not SAT senior stuff.
Yeah. Oh, my other thing is Charlie at this party. He's supposed to be a great DJ for the parties.
Yep.
Like he's supposed to be able to tell when people are in the mood for upbeat, slow. In the movie, Craig comes up to him and goes, God, dude, can you play something better? Like your mix is killing my vibe. And then he changes the music.
Yeah, and Craig in the book tells him he should be a DJ.
Yes.
Man.
And the author of this made this.
I'm so angry.
I am.
All right.
So I also now believe that the sister slap happens because my next note is how Charlie doesn't tell Mr. Anderson about his sister. So
yes. Okay. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it is almost the holidays and Charlie's family is hoping his brother will come home for Thanksgiving, but he calls and he can't. So everyone's kind of bummed and sad about that. He talks about how the holidays are crazy, as most families are, but his seems a little crazier. They're fighting all the time. Someone always cries. And he's like, it's always the same fight, too. And it's always the same people crying. And it's like, oh, gosh.
It's my great aunt with my grandpa.
Yeah, she locks herself in the bathroom. And it's like, oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that would be stressful.
Right? With one bathroom in the house, so everybody's peeing outside.
And I feel bad for the girls because they can't really use the bushes.
Yes. It was a cute little... He is a cute little writer.
Yeah.
And but this time Charlie's dad brought a VHS. That's a big huge box that plays movies for our Gen Zs. We're millennials.
Damn it.
For our Gen Z listeners. To play his brother playing football.
Did I ever tell you? In one of my film classes, this hurt really bad because here I am thinking I'm in a class full of people my age. And I can't remember what we were learning, but my teacher asked, he was talking about VCRs, and then he like stopped halfway through his speech and like turned to us and was like, who all here knows what a VCR is? Here I am thinking that everyone's going to raise our hand. Like only 3 of us did.
What in the world? But you went to school right after college, so they should all be your age or older.
Yeah.
That's
I was like,
insane.
what? Yeah.
That's insane.
Heart broken.
Yes.
I was like, ouch,
That makes no sense.
that was the first time I've ever felt old.
Man.
Well, that was like junior year,
Okay, so I guess maybe some freshmen could have been in that class.
possibly. I can't remember what level class it was. Had to have been a freshman level class
Yeah.
or
But
a
still,
sophomore.
that would have been like, they would have been 2 years younger than you. That
Yeah.
still doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It hurt. It hurt bad.
Crazy.
VCR, guys, is...
Which you play the VHSs on.
yeah.
It's an old school DVD player, which
Yes.
is an old school Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu,
Fire Stick,
Fire Stick thing.
Roku. Yeah, goodness.
All right. Anyways, so they brought a VHS of his brother playing football. That was a long rant. And everyone stopped fighting to watch. So they go around the table asking what everyone's thankful for. And Patrick's like, that we watched my brother play football and no one was fighting. And everybody got like super awkward.
I love that he said that.
I know.
That's the best.
See, it's stuff like that I was like, is he sort of autistic? Because it's like he just says his thoughts.
Oh, that's true.
So that's where I was, but I don't know.
I didn't read it that way.
Okay.
I just think it was like, to him, that was his one shining moment.
Okay.
That was like, what am I thankful for today? Today it's the fact that we did not fight.
I mean, that's fair. Maybe he's just socially awkward.
That's possible.
That's might be what. Yeah. He asked his mom too if Sam and Patrick could come over after the holidays, and she said yes. And he's so excited because last time he had someone over, it was Michael, and they had a sleepover together and everything. And so he's just still sad about his best friend.
Yeah. So that doesn't happen in the movies.
No, I don't think there's Thanksgiving at all.
No, Thanksgiving does not happen in the movies. Instead, we get Charlie and Sam studying for the SATs. And one of my favorite lines happens.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just do this before we go into the book again. So Charlie is asking his dad for money for Christmas presents because he wants to buy Sam a gift too. And he literally just says, I want to buy Sam a gift. And he ends up buying all of his friends a gift. But anyways, he goes up to his dad and goes, Dad, can I have $30? My favorite line in this whole movie comes from the dad. And he goes, $20? Why do you need $10?
That's so fun. I didn't even recognize or catch that. That's awesome.
It made me laugh so hard. I was like, that's the best dad move. And then he goes, have fun. And then hands him a 50.
Yeah,
So it was really sweet. But I just thought it was hilarious. I was like, that's the smoothest way to do that.
I'm going to start doing that. Yep.
$20? Why do you need $10?
$10. What? Here.
Could you imagine being the kid who's like,
wait,
no,
what?
I just asked for 30. How did I get down to 10?
That's awesome. All right.
Also,
Yep.
his dad, I've always had a crush on his dad because he is the guy in Miracle on 34th Street.
I thought I recognized him.
Yeah. And when I was a little kid, oh my gosh, I wanted to be the mom so I could be with him.
So you've had celebrity crushes from like
Yeah.
little.
Yeah.
It's making sense now.
Yeah.
My goodness. All right. Sam hosts a Secret Santa every year. And so it's gotten to like, it was little at first, but now it's gotten to be a big thing where they buy presents for someone and they stuff them in their lockers throughout the like month of December. And then the last day before winter break, they have a Christmas party and they give one last gift and reveal who they had for Secret Santa. And Charlie got Patrick. He wanted Sam, but he's like, you know what? That's okay. Patrick's good because he's been hanging out with Brad a lot. So I haven't got to see him in a long time. So this will help me think about him. And he ended up giving Patrick a mixtape and he worked really hard on it. He was so proud of it. But that kind of blew who Secret Santa, because Patrick's like, oh, I know you like music and I recognize
especially
your handwriting.
Because he had it start with asleep and end with asleep.
Oh, yeah. And he thinks that Mary Elizabeth has him because he just got socks. So he's like, oh, that's kind of a boring gift. So I think Mary Elizabeth gave it to me. Charlie was given almost a complete suit. He's just missing the jacket. So he's like, obviously, that's what my last gift's going to be. And he got Patrick a harmonica, like magnet words that you can make poems and sentences on the fridge with, and a watercolor set. And his final gift he got him was a poem. And Charlie read it at the party, and everyone was really quiet. He kept saying, like, if you know who this wrote this, let me know, and everything like this. And Bob said he has heard this before, and he's pretty sure it was a poem created from someone's suicide note. And Charlie's like, I hope that is not true because I really like this poem. And it was very much true. Like, I was like, that is the saddest poem.
We'll post a picture of it on our socials, guys.
Yeah. So Charlie ended up getting gifts for everybody. And even though not everyone got him gifts, which he was kind of bummed about, but he's like, that's okay. That's not what it's about. And, but they were such thoughtful gifts. He could tell that people were like feeling bad that they didn't get him anything. And because I don't think the rest of the group really saw him as a friend of the group until this. Then they're like, wow, he really is
a friend.
And so his Secret Santa was revealed, and it was Patrick. And he got him a jacket because all great writers wear suits. And Sam brought him to her room where she had a typewriter she got him. And on it, she typed, write about me sometime. And he typed back, I will. And they just are chatting. And Sam asks if Charlie's ever been kissed. Did I forget something?
You said movie thing about what was on the...
I swear it said it in the book, too.
Because in the book, he types, I love you.
So what does she have typed on the thing, then?
Let me find it. Oh, so it does say, write about me sometime. And then he types, I will.
Oh.
But then...
He types, I love you, too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because she tells him she loves him. He's like, I know she meant it as a friend, but it felt really good.
And he's like, that could have been my Christmas present. She didn't need to get me a gift, too.
I know. It's so cute. And so they're talking, and she asks if he's ever been kissed before. And he said no. And she told him about the first time she was ever kissed. She was a kid, and it was by her dad's friend. And so this is when we kind of start learning why Sam had a bad reputation growing up, is she was abused. So, or assaulted, I guess that would be assaulted.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was where she was getting shaped from. So it's just each character has such a heavy past, and it shapes them.
Mm-hmm.
And so she said, I know.
Or a heavy present in Patrick's case.
Yes. Yep. And she says, okay, I know I'm with Craig, and I know they said you couldn't think of me like that, but I want the first person that you kiss to really love you. And so she kissed him.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was so sweet.
Yeah. So in the movie, this basically happens. But in the book, how Secret Santa got revealed, by the time it was Charlie's turn to reveal who his Secret Santa was, Patrick was the only one that was left. So he was like, obviously it's Patrick. But then Patrick kind of like dismisses the whole thing and goes into the kitchen to get stuff.
Yeah.
And then he comes back out with the suit jacket. In the movie, Charlie full on is like, I think my Secret Santa is Mary Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And like
they have him guess in the movie. Which in the book, they
didn't. They just showed up and
they
was
were.
Like, look, I was yours. Yeah. Did not like that. Also, Sam thanks Charlie for helping her with her Penn State application. And then that's why she takes him upstairs to give him the typewriter, because this isn't a Christmas present. It's a thank you for helping me with my college application. This freshman helped you with your college application.
I want to believe she meant SATs to qualify
be
for the application, but
yeah, not
Worded correctly
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
yeah. Also, tell me in the movie when Sam's telling Charlie about the dad's friend being her first kiss, doesn't she make it sound like it's a boyfriend? Because then she says, "Yeah, I've had some really awful exes in the past."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like,
Interesting.
why is that a difference? Yeah. Like, why are you or wait, no, it was a college professor or
Yeah.
it was someone she wasn't supposed to be dating. It wasn't her dad's friend.
No.
So then she just tells him that she screwed up because she chooses wrong. And then the kiss happens. And then when everyone's leaving, what you'll get into in a little bit is that Sam and Patrick don't call Charlie on his birthday, and it kind of hurts him because he's like, oh, my two friends didn't call me on my birthday. But then he's kind of like, but you know what? It's okay. They're busy. They're on their trips. It's fine. But in the movie, Patrick goes, I know your birthday is on Christmas Eve, and then pulls out the clock that he made in wood shop for him.
So funny. It was cute.
Yeah.
Okay, so as Bree said, Sam and Patrick went away for Christmas, and he really hopes that they'll call him because he's starting to get in a dark place. But they don't call him.
Yep.
And his birthday is Christmas Eve, and he doesn't like his birthday. And we learn that he went to a mental hospital for a little bit after Aunt Helen died. And so we don't really get any details quite yet. So it's like I felt like almost he's writing to his friend, but like these are such personal things. He's kind of like not ready to share them yet, even though I wish I knew who he was writing to. But I mean, that's the whole point, is you don't.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. But I think that why he doesn't divulge certain bits and pieces is because he's repressing the worst of it. So he doesn't totally remember everything. So he's giving us the morsels he's getting and like, oh yeah.
That makes sense.
This is what's happening. Yeah.
That's true. Because each
time
he's remembering
it's getting more and more. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. So it's his birthday and he's in a super dark place.
It's his party and he'll cry if he wants to.
And he wants to because he does.
Yeah,
and his mom takes him out shopping with his sister, and he couldn't figure out. He's like, this was another, but I mean, this works for depression too, because this was another, I felt, autistic moment because he was so fixated on getting his dad the perfect gift. Like he was having panic attacks and anxiety attacks and everything like that, but that also works for depression. He couldn't figure out to get him, and his sister's just over here throwing fit because she needs to get her secret boyfriend a gift, but they
can't do it in front of mom.
Yeah, so they have to go home so that she can go back out, and it's Christmas Eve, so she's like, oh my gosh, just pick a gift already. And finally he found that episode of MASH that they all watched together, and he bought it. And back home his mom's making his favorite dinner, and we find out his brother's flight got in late, so his parents are arguing on the phone. It's just like too much for him. He goes and reads for a little bit. So then everyone gets there and it's all hunky-dory. And they celebrate Christmas next day together, and his dad loved his gift, which I thought was really sweet because I was really worried that it would have been like,
why'd you buy me MASH?
Yeah. I was like, his dad is it was a really interesting character to read. Yeah, because he's almost read like he is a man's man. He's like, you know,
emotions are not what men should be feeling.
Yeah, he's like the tough character, but then he has moments where he's dad. He loves his kids, and it's just, I was really happy that that's how he was, and it wasn't a full on no emotions, suck it up type of guy.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah. For example, on the way to their dad's family's house, his brother and sister kept fighting because his sister just kept going after his brother's new girlfriend. And eventually his brother said, at least she knows how to not get hit. I was like, oh my gosh. And sure enough, Dad slammed on the brakes. He just turned around and he didn't even have to say anything. He had the like scary dad stare. And brother's like, I'm so sorry. And sister's sobbing. And he stares at her too. And she's sobbing. She says she's sorry too. He makes Charlie drive because Charlie's 16 now. And
he wants to sit in between brother and sister.
Yep. And then when they get to his grandma's house, we learn that his grandpa died when his dad was really young, and after a while his grandma got remarried to someone who beat his dad and his sister and his dad's sister, so his aunt.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually grandma's brothers found out about this and went and beat the guy to death.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, his aunt is following in the same pattern.
Mm-hmm. None of that happens.
Okay. So, on the way home, they stop at Aunt Helen's grave and give her flowers. And his mom and him share stories, and they talk about her. And this is when we start finding out more information. So we find out that his Aunt Helen was molested as a child by a close family friend, and no one believed her. And she went through lots of different hospitals and finally got her life back on track, and she was living with them. And on Charlie's birthday, a police officer came to the door and told his mom that she was in an accident and she had to go identify the body. And so his brother and sister are crying, and Charlie's like,
I think you just said she was an accident.
oh, well, she was in an accident is what I meant to say. So his brother and sister are sobbing, and Charlie's just fine because he's like, no, it's not true. Like, complete denial.
Mom has to go identify. It's not
her.
She's going to come back fine.
Yep. But mom came home, confirmed it, and this is when he like almost kind of blacks out, sort of. He just remembers talking to doctors because he's now in a mental hospital because he's hit with such bad depression and a mix of a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
And Aunt Helen died because she was going to buy his birthday present. So it's all his fault. And he's just
torn up.
Yeah.
This part in the movie is when we get a flashback with little Charlie and Aunt Helen, and they're setting up the Luminara. And I only bring this up because ever since I've read this book, I've always wanted to do the Luminaria.
I know. It's so cute.
Yeah.
So it's basically a landing strip for Santa.
Yeah, with like candles in paper bags
all along the street, so all the neighbors set up. So cute.
Yeah. Yeah. In the movie too, the brother comes home and they're like saying their hellos and then eating dinner. And his brother in the book doesn't totally seem like he's like the most, I don't want to say he's not the most caring, but he's definitely not someone who's like, hey, Charlie, how are you? What's going on with you?
Yeah.
In the movie, they sit down and he's like, Charlie, is it getting bad again? Is it bad like last time? And Charlie's like, no, don't worry about me. I'm fine. And I was like, dude, what? This doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Then also, sister is still dating Derek in the movie, and the parents haven't found out, so there's no hiding any of that. She dates him all the way through until the end, and the parents never find out.
Yep. A few days later, Charlie drove for his first time ever, and he chose to go drive to see Aunt Helen. And he just starts crying because, that's what you do when you're at a cemetery, usually. And he let her know, though, that he's only going to cry for real things from now on. Like, he's no more of that panicky crying that he always does. He's only if it's a real cry. And so, it's New Year's. That doesn't happen, does it?
No, it does not.
Yeah, okay. So, it's New Year's Eve, and Charlie went to a party with Sam and Patrick. And he ended up taking LSD. But I love that he didn't say what it was until the next chapter. Yeah. Like, you're just kind of like reading it and you're like, he is on something.
What the heck? Yeah.
He's on something. And because it's 4 a.m. and he's shoveling snow because he can hear Sam and Craig doing it.
What, it's not making love now?
Sleeping together. Why haven't I been saying that? That's way better. So, Charlie ended up waking up in a hospital because he was found nearly frozen because he had fallen asleep in the snow. And so, what? And he, at some point during the night, cut his own hair because it looked horrible, and his sister helped him fix it.
I thought that was sweet.
That was really sweet.
Yeah. She's like, so, can I help you? And he's like, what? Do I look that bad?
Yeah, he's like, oh.
Yeah. So, I do like in the movie, Charlie goes to church with his family and is taking communion. And then they do like a close up of the communion bread. And then that is the LSD that gets Charlie high. And I love that transition. But the whole hospital thing doesn't happen in the movie because Sam finds him after the LSD, or because he's out shoveling a circle in the snow. And she comes and like kind of helps with his trip, tells him that these glasses will help him as long as he like wears them, puts them on. But then, or wait, no, he does go to the hospital. My bad. Because then after that, so Craig and Sam don't have sex in the movie. And that's not why he's outside. He's just on a trip. And then Sam brings him down. But then when he's leaving, he doesn't fall asleep because of the drugs. He falls asleep because he's panicking and he's going to a bad place because then he's starting to think about his aunt a lot. And then he falls in the snow, makes a snow angel. And then I feel like he didn't go to sleep, but I do remember him in the hospital with the cops and his parents like asking questions like, were you on drugs?
Yeah, that's right.
No, I'm not. Mm-hmm.
So it's been 2 weeks since he did acid and he's still tripping out and he's really freaking out. And he's worried it's permanent, and Sam calmed him down. And he asked for a cigarette, which helped him calm down. And he started going to a nice new psychiatrist, and he likes the psychiatrist. And yeah.
None of that happens in the movie.
Nope.
Not even the psychiatrist.
Nope.
Which I think is kind of key. But
yeah. Charlie ended up playing Rocky in the Rocky Horror because Craig didn't show up for some reason. Like, no one could get a hold of him. And he was really nervous because he has to wear just like undies. And he's really nervous that he's going to get really turned on by Sam because they have to be like touching each other. But it ended up going good. So, and Mary Elizabeth ended up asking him to the Sadie Hawkins dance after the show. And Charlie's trying to get advice from his sister on how to date girls. But she wanted to be left alone. She was like in a moody attitude right then. And so he got advice from Sam. And I really loved it because Sam's like, well, normally girls like this, but don't do that with Mary Elizabeth. Normally girls like this. Don't do that with her. And this, no. And he felt a little dumb because he wished she was a little jealous, but Sam seemed really happy for them. And he was like, I guess that's okay.
Darn. Why aren't you jealous? Yep. So in the movie, I love, because after he's Rocky, he's helping Mary Elizabeth carry things out to her car. And he's like, that was really fun. I would love to do that more. If you guys need me as like an alternative, I'm down to be an alternative. And I was like, oh, that's so cute. And then Mary Elizabeth asks him out, but Charlie doesn't talk to anyone about how he should date.
Yep. So the next chapter kicks off with all of Mary Elizabeth's answers to all the questions that Charlie had asked. And she asks if there's going to be more dates. And he said yes, because him and Sam didn't talk about this part. He's like, oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to say. So, but he's like, I don't know what else I'm going to ask her. So this is going to be weird. And so Craig didn't show up to the dance, the Sadie Hawkins dance with Sam, because he thought it was dumb to go to a high school dance. And so Sam was not having a good time. And Charlie saw his sister and her secret boyfriend, and they had a fight, and she ran off to the bathroom. And when he gets home from the dance, he saw her crying. And he asked what was wrong. And eventually she told him that she was pregnant. And she asked him to go to the clinic with her.
In the movie, Mary Elizabeth and Charlie's first date is at the dance. But in the book, she like asked him if she could kiss him. And they only kissed because she was like, you're not ready for anything else, are you? And he was like, no.
Well, he wasn't even ready for a kiss. So he said, not yet. And she's like, that's okay. And that's what he was like, how many more dates can you have just asking questions before you start kissing people? And so that's what he was
stressing about.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the movie, they just go right to, I think, second base.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. On their first date. I was like, well, that moved quick. Nothing else happened.
Yes. No sister.
Yeah.
And we learned I learned that is because they wanted to stay as far away from an R rating as possible. And they were worried that might lead it that way. But I believe there is a deleted scene with it. I believe that's what I read. So let me know if there is.
Yes.
So Charlie's waiting for his sister at the clinic, and he's just looking at the magazines and everything, and he just starts like feeling really overwhelmed and sad. So he goes to the car, starts crying, and he's smoking, and he's like worried his sister, what is she going to be like when she comes out? He's just really worried about her. And she comes out yelling at him for smoking, and he just starts laughing. He's like, okay, if she can yell at me, she's still herself, and all this sort of stuff. And so they hung out. She rested in the car for a little bit, and then they got home.
And he brought her a pillow and blanket from the house.
Yes. And they had a lie, like, set up. I mean, it was on the fly, but it was like they were pretty good at it, ready for the parents. And after they went to bed, Charlie brought the pillow and blanket in from the car, and she thanked him for the day, and she wants him to stop smoking because she really does love him. And I thought that was awesome because earlier in the book, there was a mention of, it was Sam when she said she loved him. He's like, I've only been told that like 3 times since Aunt Helen died.
Yeah.
And I was like, your mom doesn't even tell. It's so sad. So the fact that now sister said it, I was like, oh, I'm so
Charlie,
glad.
you've got more people.
Yes.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that doesn't happen in the book or movie.
Okay. So then Charlie asked to borrow the car because he's got another date going. And this is when his dad comes in and gives him the sex talk. He's like, my dad is not embarrassed about sex. Like most people are. Mary Elizabeth and him went and saw a movie. He didn't really like it. And then they went to a record store. And then they went back to her place. Started kissing, fooling around. And she asked if he thought she was pretty. And he says yes. And so now they're, boyfriend and girlfriend, apparently. And she just talks so much. He's just like, she just never stops talking. Like, she calls me right after we just hung out, and she's just talking. And he invited Sam and Patrick over because his mom said after the holidays. And then Mary Elizabeth just assumed she was invited. And so his parents are like, not even trying to get to know Sam and Patrick, because why would they when the girlfriend's over? And he was just not very happy about that.
Yeah. This doesn't totally happen. There's a montage with Charlie being like, I know I should have been honest with her and told her that I didn't like her, but how do you say that's someone? And then you see all the reasons why he doesn't like her. And then you see, like, when she calls to talk to him, he leaves her on the phone, and he goes downstairs to talk to his parents to try and figure out how to break up with her.
And she's just talking and has no idea. Oh my gosh.
And then he comes back and tries to be like, Mary Elizabeth, I need to say something. And she's like, excuse me, I hate when you interrupt.
Yes. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. But other than that,
yep,
nothing else happened, or it already happened.
Yes. And so the next bit starts off by Charlie saying he really messed things up. And we dive in and find out that at the start of the week, Mary Elizabeth got him a copy of a book she really likes. But he didn't like it because it wasn't very personable. Like, if it was her copy, awesome. If he wrote the part that she really liked on a piece of paper, great. So he was just annoyed. So he returned it to the bookstore. Then he goes home crying because he feels so bad. So his sister brings him back. And he buys it again. And Mary Elizabeth, of course, has been calling. And she's like, where have you been? And he's like, at the store with my sister. She's like, oh, did you get me anything? He's like, yes. So now he has to figure out something to get her. So he gave her To Kill a Mockingbird. Do you know, every time I typed this, I wrote To Kill a Mockingjay. Every time. So, no. She wasn't too thrilled, but she wasn't like rude about it.
But she was like, I read this a long time ago.
And I hate how they adapted it to the movie. And it's just blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I would not want to be a co-host podcaster with her. So then they go to a party and they play Truth or Dare. And Charlie keeps answering Dare because he doesn't want to tell the truth of not liking Mary Elizabeth. But freaking Patrick wasn't thinking. He dared him to kiss the prettiest girl in the room.
I know. I'm like, Patrick, you should know.
Yes.
He's going to kiss.
And he gets up and kisses Sam. And Sam is pissed because Mary Elizabeth runs off crying in the bathroom. And Patrick takes him home. And he's like, you should probably stay away for a while.
Yeah, so this happens in the movie.
Yes, it does.
Except for in their Truth or Dare circle, Sam is sitting right next to Charlie. So all Charlie has to do is turn and kiss, which I think it's better having him have to walk across the room because then it's even more like...
So much more awkward.
Yeah. So I'm kind of bummed that that didn't happen. But then when Patrick is walking Charlie out to take him home, he then tells Charlie that Sam and Mary Elizabeth have this history and this keeps happening with them and boys.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, that's not a thing in the book.
No, not at all.
Mm-mm. No, it's just my boyfriend just got dared to kiss the prettiest girl in the room and kissed you.
Yeah.
Which in itself is enough to piss off a girl.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Okay, so Charlie knows something's really wrong with him. He's like voicing, he's really worried. And he calls to say sorry to Mary Elizabeth, and she's like, it's too late. Craig is still mad at Sam about Charlie, and he calls, so now he's like, Bob, I need something to help. And so Bob sells him some pot. And Charlie went to the mall and like people watched by himself. And soon at school, he went up to Susan, who was Michael's girlfriend, and asks if she misses him. And all the guys hanging out with him are like, okay, what a freak, behind his back as he leaves. So it's all this like information that's like Charlie's like drowning in.
He's already in a dark place and nothing's helping him at the moment.
Yeah, it's getting worse and worse.
This happens in the movie too. I do like, this is when Charlie starts typing letters in the movie and he uses his typewriter, and I think that's really cute. And then when he's on the phone with Mary Elizabeth, I felt, when I read it in the book, I didn't feel like she was mean to him. I felt like she was just exasperated and like, why are you calling again? In the movie, she was a bitch.
Yeah.
She was like, she basically told Charlie that, because he said something about how they were his friends too. And she was like, oh, your friends? You've only known him for 6 months. I've known him for years, dude.
Yeah.
And like reamed him for that. And I did not like that.
Yeah, I didn't either. Okay.
Yeah.
So Charlie found out from Bob that Brad's dad caught Patrick and Brad together. And he beat the crap out of Brad. And Charlie didn't know if he should call Patrick or not, because Patrick said to stay away for a little while. So he decided to go to the Rocky show and watch him perform, see if he was okay, and then go home. So he came late and he only stayed for a little and then he left. And his sister ended up getting a new boyfriend because old boyfriend broke up with her at the dance when she told him that she was pregnant.
Because it wasn't his baby.
Yes. Gosh.
I hate men.
I know. And Charlie tried to hang out with him because they're like watching a movie, and she's like, no, like go, like she's trying to give him nice hints to get out, and he's like just doesn't want to be alone, so he's hanging out with her. And then finally she's like, Charlie, no, we want to be alone. Like it was like, he's like,
I know. I at this point, I just wish. I mean, I've been there. I've done that where you're so deep in this funk and you want someone to see it and you want someone to be there and you want someone to help you, but you just can't say it yourself.
Yeah.
So I get it. But at the same time, as I'm reading this, I'm like, if you told your sister, hey, I'm in a dark place. Can I just need to be here. Like,
she totally would have.
Yeah.
Him.
Yeah. But he kind of like what Sam ends up saying. He was more worried about what she wanted rather than what he needed in this point.
Yep.
That doesn't happen in the movie. Well, he finds out about Brad, but that's, oh yeah. Brad also doesn't miss school.
Yeah, because here's Brad was out for a week, and then when he comes back, he looks fine.
Mm-hmm.
He's just acting different. Like, he's kind of like, looking at the ground, not like really acknowledging people, which is not like Brad. And then Patrick goes up to him in the lunchroom, which also is not like their relationship at all. And a fight broke out because Brad called Patrick a not so nice word.
Derogatory term.
There you go. And Brad's friends jump in, start fighting back. And that's when Charlie jumps in and freaking knocks the crap out of him.
Mm-hmm.
Which is quite impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The little freshman took down freaking football players.
Who got bullied at the start of the school year.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm. But what happened was he blacked out. He got in such a rage that he blacked out and did it. So
we found out Patrick was suspended because he started the fight, and Brad and Charlie got detention together. And at detention, Brad thanks Charlie for stopping everyone from beating up Patrick. And Sam and Mary Elizabeth are talking again, and this chapter started off with Charlie just saying how like this was a great day, like or not a great day, but like wait, no, this wasn't that time. He was just excited that like his life is kind of going back to together a little bit.
Normal.
Sam's talking to him and everything like that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Patrick gave up playing Fran.
Frankenfurter.
Oh, guys. Can't type, can't talk, can't read. So he gave up playing Frankenfurter at the Rocky show. Mm-hmm. And Charlie said it's really hard to listen to Patrick because normally Patrick's a really, really happy guy and like life of the party, but he's very depressed right now. But he's going to be there for him because he's his friend.
Yeah. The only part that happens in the movie out of this section is the lunchroom fight. And it kind of happens differently in the movie. In the book, it's Patrick hasn't seen Brad in forever, and so he keeps trying to go up and talk to him. And so he kind of like goes and says something to him, and then Brad calls Patrick the thing, and then that happens. But in the movie, one of his friends, Brad's friends, sticks his leg out and trips Patrick. And that's what gets Patrick to come out and like, are you not going to say anything to them? Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Huh? I'm like, dude, no, he's not.
I know, right? His heart is broken. He just wants him to. So sad.
I get it, but he's also the one who knows. Like,
I know. Oh, Brad also came like looking totally beat up.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess they had to for movie purposes.
Yeah, because they cut out. Oh, yeah. They could have not, but they, yeah, whatever.
What? Drama.
Yeah. Stupid.
Yep. So Charlie wakes up to a phone call from Patrick saying, get dressed. He's on his way over. This is back to the book. And he took him to a golf course, and they shared a bunch of stories about how people got their nicknames, like, I don't know, just like silly high school nicknames that stick with you forever. And then Patrick took Charlie home, and he leaned in for a kiss and kissed him. And Charlie was kind of shocked, and Patrick apologized. Charlie's like, it's okay. And then Patrick kissed him again. And it was just kind of like a super awkward, weird moment. But
like a weird makeout, too.
Yeah, it was odd. And Charlie went inside.
In the movie, they go to the park And that's where Patrick kisses him. And he only kisses him once.
And then he cries and says sorry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Charlie hated seeing Patrick so sad and not knowing what to do, but he made sure he was always there for him. And Patrick's been drinking a lot. And he's taking him to all these places that Charlie's never been before. Like, one was a park where gay guys just look at each other and go off and hook up together. And
so Patrick's like, keep your eyes down.
yep. And while they were there, Patrick went off with someone, and a sports news anchor came up and started talking to Charlie. And he starts talking about his brother. And Charlie's like, oh, just trying to get information about his brother. And the news person's like, okay.
Oh, you're not into this.
Yeah, and he just leaves. But so then they would like go to different places and get different drugs and alcohol and all this sort of stuff. They went back to the park, and Patrick saw Brad there with some other guys. So he was not happy.
Nope. And that doesn't happen in the movie.
Okay, so then back to school. Bill has been really busy with personal life and his decision if he wants to stop teaching or not. So he hasn't been able to give Charlie any more books. So he gives him movies now instead. And Charlie's fallen behind in other classes because he's been spending so much time with Patrick. And Charlie just goes on and says how like everybody's been accepted to different schools and Patrick's going up here.
Yeah.
Seattle.
Come right on up, bud.
Yep. And Sam's
30 years ago.
yeah, right. Going to Penn State, and he's telling his psychiatrist all about this, but his psychiatrist just keeps asking him questions from when he was a kid, and he feels like he's repeating himself, so he's getting kind of annoyed. So now he's starting to not like his psychiatrist very much. Interesting.
Good psychiatrist.
Yes. Keep going. Yeah, did that and nothing.
You see Sam get into Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
That's
About
pretty
it.
much it. Yeah.
Okay. So Charlie invited his sister and her boyfriend to the Rocky show.
Mm.
And because Patrick played his role one last time, and this is what Bri was talking about, they're virgins, so they have to do all this embarrassing stuff. So Charlie taught them how to do the time warp so that they didn't lose the competition, because they'd have to like pretend they have sex on stage with a giant stuffy.
Yeah. And he was like, I wasn't embarrassed for her for that. I just didn't want to see her
Yeah.
act like she was having sex.
And so he invited them to the after party, but they were like, we already have plans. And she hugged him and said she loved him before leaving. And it was just a cute little sibling moment. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the party, this is when we were saying too, everybody's complimenting the music. And Craig is like, Charlie, you should be a DJ. And it's like, come on. Okay. None of that happens. Does it?
No.
He never invites his sister to go to.
No.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
I would have loved that.
I know.
Yeah.
So now Charlie's sad because all his friends are seniors and they're all gone. Like, you know, seniors have their last day way before the rest of the school.
Mm-hmm.
And his mom made his favorite lunch because she knew he would be sad. And I was like, aw, that's so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And he was thinking about everyone's prom and how he hopes it goes perfect. And he goes back to his therapist and she's just asking weird questions now about his childhood, and he's not liking it anymore. It's just not good.
Huh. In the movie, everyone's last day is the same day.
Yeah.
Which I did not like. And prom doesn't happen.
So Charlie shares that he's doing really great on his finals, and Bill offers for him to come over when school's out. And Charlie's making plans in the future because right now is sad, so the future is better. And so that's why he keeps doing that. And we also find out that Sam and Craig broke up because Craig has been cheating on her since they started dating. And
Jerk.
yeah, the reason she finally finds out is because Craig's friend Patrick is now dating Mary Elizabeth, and he's grown to really like Sam. And he told Craig he needs to tell her, but Craig would always come up with excuses like she's going away for college, you know,
It's prom. I don't want to ruin her prom.
yeah, all this other stuff. Well, finally, Patrick heard Sam talking and being like, I think Craig's the one. And Patrick knew that Craig was fooling around with someone right before prom.
Mm-hmm.
And so it all got spilled and they broke up. And Charlie went over to Bill's and his fiance cooked him lunch. And Bill told Charlie he was very special. And Charlie hadn't heard that since his Aunt Helen. So he was like, I really liked being called special again.
Yeah. Yeah.
This just makes me like realize as a parent all the things I need to tell my kids. I need to tell them I love them all the time, how special they are, how amazing they are. Because I'm like, it was just sad reading. No one's told me I'm special. No one tells me they love me. And I'm like, just need to wrap him in a hug. It's just so sad.
Just kidding. Prom was in the movie. It just wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a story point for
Well, Charlie doesn't go to prom, so that's probably why.
the movie. Yeah. The only thing is that Charlie's sister breaks up with Derek, so then she can go stag with her friends.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then there's the Charlie tells about Craig and everything he did. Mr. Anderson doesn't invite Charlie over to his house or his wedding because that just doesn't happen.
Yeah. So Charlie's just been waiting to hear about Sam because he knew she broke up and he hasn't heard from her yet. So he's getting a little worried, but he's like, okay, she'll let me know when she's ready. And Patrick said she needs just girls right now. Don't go after her. And so Charlie's brother came back for his sister's graduation, and she graduated second in her class, so she got to give a speech. And after graduation, they went back to the house, and Sam called, inviting him over, but his dad's like, not till the family leaves. And of course, they don't leave till like friggin' 10:30 at night. And as soon as they leave, his dad gave him $20 and said thanks for staying. And he went out to like this dance club with them, and Charlie and Sam danced together. And when they left the club, Charlie gave everyone their graduation gifts, and he gave Sam and Patrick the books that Bill has given him, all with like, or both with a personal card for each of them.
Mm-hmm. And he chose them like specifically for each one.
Yeah. And Sam and Charlie made a deal that whenever she gets nervous or lonely at school, she'll call Charlie and vice versa.
Good. In the movie, Charlie only gives Sam a graduation gift. He doesn't give anyone else a graduation gift.
And it's all the books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that he split them up for them.
Yeah, it made more sense. The movie made it very much more about their romantic, like, relationship that's not really there.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Steven, you wrote the damn book.
All right.
Like, I never wanted Charlie and Sam together, did you? I guess you watched the movie first.
I know, so I'm trying to think.
As you read the book.
But I don't think I did even when
You watched,
I watched it.
All right. All right, good.
Like, I think I like them as friends.
Yeah. No, Sam is always friend.
Yeah. So they're hanging out with Sam as much as they can because she has to leave early for summer classes.
Mm-hmm.
And one night everyone left and it's just Charlie and Sam, and she gets at him for not going for what he wants. He's always there to be the good friend, but that's not being a good friend. Like, he never asked her out or letting Patrick kiss him. Like, this is not okay, and he needs to step up and share how he feels. And this is when Charlie decides to kiss her. And she kisses back, and they make out for a little bit, and they went to go have sex, but he stops her, and he doesn't know why, and he's really upset with himself, and now he's just in a downward spiral with Sam leaving and all this sort of stuff happening. And he lets the reader know that we weren't chosen at random. We were chosen because someone that Michael knew talked us up, and we were really important when Michael died. So that's our other clue of who the
friend is.
Yeah, but really not, because I still don't know.
I'm still just as confused. So in the movie, when Sam takes Charlie up to her room and gives him the speech about how he needs to go for what he wants, he ends up giving her this huge speech about what he wants rather than just kissing her. And I like that he just kisses her in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, fine, I'll show you what I want. Rather than like, I want to tell you that you're beautiful and blah, 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 blah. And then after the downward spiral, Sam's supposed to drive him home or try to drive him home. He's supposed to go home that night, but he ends up staying the night in the movie. They make it seem like they have sex in the movie, but then you get flashbacks where it's like, oh, they didn't. Something happened, but he just stayed the night overnight.
Yeah.
And then you see him go into his downward spiral.
Mm-hmm. And so Charlie ended up going to a mental hospital because the depression hit so bad. It was discovered at the hospital that he blocked it out, that his Aunt Helen had molested him every Saturday. And everyone was shocked and upset by this. And when he was released, he wanted to go see Sam because she was visiting. And they drove through the tunnel together. And this time it was Charlie's turn to stand up in the back of the truck.
Mm-hmm.
And so he did, and he felt infinite.
Yes. That happens in the movie, except for at the very end, Sam kisses Charlie again.
So I mean, liked probably is not the right word, but having a male character be the one on the opposite end of
The
abuse, because you never see that. So
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah.
I can't even think of the right words to say because it's not nice to see, but it's
Yeah.
it's good to see that they are also being,
Represented.
because
Yeah.
it goes both ways.
It does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So, but for Bri, that's where it stopped.
Yeah.
But for me, I texted her. I'm like, I love the 20 years later part.
I was like, what?
What? So in the audiobook, you have a 20-year later, and it's Charlie writing saying that, hey, thank you everyone for writing Charlie letters. He's doing great. He made it. And hey, you over there who was struggling in high school, I see that you have a family and kids now. And you over there that had this issue, thanks for letting me know about this great thing in your life. And it was just like,
Oh.
it was all of it. It was like the perfect, cute little ending. And I'm so sad. But my next fun fact
Mhm.
tells me why. Because in an interview with LA Youth, Stephen Chbosky said that he wrote books for personal reasons, but reading the book's customer reviews on Amazon made him realize that so many people related to it. So I'm sure that was
Aw.
him
Writing
back.
Yeah.
Because it probably came out, it was probably a 20th
Anniversary. or something.
anniversary. And so I was like, oh, I thought it was so cute. I was like,
Aw.
that was one of my favorite parts. So sad for you. I can play it for you if you wanted, but it's like a 5-minute thing.
I'm good.
But I don't know. It was cute.
Yeah. That's sweet. We did it.
We did.
All right.
So IMDb cast 102 people.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of
Doesn't
them
seem like it.
were like
Bit parts.
girl
Oh,
in
yeah.
the
Because it's a
football
school.
stadium.
I just realized. I was like, yeah, makes sense.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. We have Logan Lerman as Charlie.
I liked him.
He is Charlie.
It's so good.
He is Charlie. I love him.
I really liked him a lot.
Ezra Miller, Patrick. So I wasn't sure. I went into this thinking that I was going to have to recast him because, everything that's going on with him.
Oh yeah,
So I was like,
them.
with them. Thank you. So then I was like, do we keep him in the podcast? Do we be politically correct? Do we side with what's going on? But he is Patrick. There's no one I can. They are Patrick. They are Patrick.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was hilarious because I saw this first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then years later, Fantastic Beasts come out.
Yeah.
And I was always like, I have seen them from something. Where? And then I rewatched this and I was like, hey! And I was like,
figured it out.
I was like, hey! Freaking like 5 of the fun facts on IMDb is that Ezra and Emma Watson are both in the Harry Potter verse. I'm like,
That's stupid.
I know.
Everyone knows that.
I know. And so That's not funny. But I really liked them. They were very good.
Yeah. They are Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
So can't recast them.
Yes. No.
Emma Watson as Sam.
Perfect. She's perfect in anything. You recast her.
It makes me really sad because your fun fact. But yes, I did.
Ugh.
She's not spunky enough. Sam is spunky. Sam's this girl who smokes all the time, who's a party girl, who likes Nirvana, who likes the Smiths, who, all of that. So then it got tough because I had to freaking Google 2012 freaking actresses that were teenagers. So at first, I picked Selena Gomez because if you watch Only Murders in the Building, she's got the edge for it. But I was like, but you're still too prissy, still too like good girl.
Mm-hmm.
So then on the top of the list, I just didn't pick her because I felt like she was a little bit too old. But then I was like, well, in 2012, she probably was the right age. I'm going Jennifer Lawrence.
Okay.
You just like her because she's Hermione.
No, I don't know if I like Jennifer Lawrence as the pick. With Emma Watson, I will agree. She's supposed to be spunkier. And I think it's she just finished Harry Potter and she's been Hermione for 10 years.
Yeah.
And this is her first role. So she was trying to figure out how to not be Hermione because Hermione is the like good student, everything like that. And so because now I think she would have definitely played her right because she can do the spunkier acting and knows how to.
What has she been in?
I've seen her in, what'd she do?
The End
What
of
is
the World.
that movie?
Or This Is the End.
What is that movie where she's it's like her gif?
I also think her American accent is horrible in this.
I know, I thought it was so funny.
It pissed me off more often than not. I was like, girl.
She was Belle.
Oh, duh. Oh, yeah. But still, that's not spunky enough. That's still prissy.
I'm not done. Acting wise, I think she could have done it. She just was not at the right.
I've never seen her do spunk
I think
or
she
have
could do
edge. The bling ring.
So that's what I picture now. Like when for spunky.
Yeah, still, I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm still going Jennifer Lawrence.
I think she could.
Mm-hmm.
I think Emma Watson could.
I know. But you're defending Hermione.
Okay.
I'm defending
You
Katniss.
defended Rob for freaking everything.
When did you want to recast him?
I haven't yet. But watch if I do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm allowed to defend my Hermione. Defend.
You do it. I think Jen would have been better. If Jennifer and Selena had a baby, that's who I would cast.
Okay, there you go.
Because I think Selena has the edge that I'm looking for, but Jen has the spunk and the like nitty gritty to her. I want someone who's had a hard life.
Okay.
Which is funny because Selena has had a hard life. Just kidding. Maybe it should just be Selena.
Okay.
Dylan McDermott is dad.
Yeah, I liked him.
He's hot.
Mm-hmm.
Kate Walsh is mom.
Addison.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, love her.
Yep.
Johnny Simmons is Brad.
Yeah, sure.
I recast him.
Okay.
I recast High School Musical Zac Efron.
Deal.
Because to me, Brad's supposed to be this like gorgeous. It's supposed to be that like, whoa, he's gay, rather than like just because he's the star of the football team, you're shocked.
Okay.
So that's why I went with Zac Efron.
High School Musical Zac Efron with his floopy hair.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say nowadays Zac Efron, but I felt like that was a little too much.
Yeah.
So then there was someone else that I saw that I was like, oh, he could be good, but I didn't like him enough. I was like, Oh, what's funny is Daniel Radcliffe is the first one. Josh Hutcherson. Oh, no. I almost said Taylor.
You're going to put the whole cast of Hunger Games in here.
I know, right? Josh, Jen. No.
Taylor
I almost
would have been good.
Taylor. Yeah.
Taylor Lautner.
Yeah. I thought about him, but then I was like.
He played a football player in
the new one.
Valentine's.
Oh, yeah.
Was it in football in Valentine's Day? It was so
Dude. Okay, yeah, just
so
kidding.
funny.
I'm going Taylor Lautner. I forgot about that. You're right. And in that movie, I kind of thought he was gay.
I mean, Taylor Swift didn't help him very much in that.
No.
She was an annoying girlfriend. Oh, that's hilarious.
All right. Nina Dobrev is Candace.
Which is sister.
Yes.
I liked her.
Yeah, I thought she did good.
Something you didn't say at the end, I really liked that he called
His
Candace.
sister, yeah.
Yeah, he called her and she's like, told her friend, get 911 on the phone right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really liked that they showed their, because they didn't really show the sibling throughout the movie, but they did right there.
Yeah.
Relationship.
I know, it was really sweet. And she like stayed on the phone with him too. And it's like, Charlie, don't do anything. Charlie.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd plays Mr. Anderson.
I love him.
Couldn't go wrong.
I know. I really liked it because, Paul Rudd's comedian actor, but he did so good in the serious role.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait. We have Mae Whitman playing Mary Elizabeth.
I mean, she was snotty.
What's funny
She
is
seemed like the annoying girlfriend.
What's funny is I kind of pictured the chick who played Alice as playing Mary Elizabeth. Like, when I read the book, I'm like, I picture a beautiful blonde who's like, you're almost like, well, why are you with Charlie?
Maybe we should give Alice credit now. Erin
Wilhelmi. Yeah. Plays Alice.
Yes. I guess. I don't know. I watched the movie first, so
I know. Yeah.
but matched for me.
But I love Mae Whitman, so I wouldn't recast her per se.
Okay. I don't know what else I've seen her in.
Did you watch Parenthood?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's what I love her in. She plays Lauren Graham's daughter in that show.
Okay.
And that's a show about a messed up family, too.
Well, there you go.
All right. Is the theme of the book and the movie the same?
Sad and depressing. Yes.
Yeah. Do the characters stay true in the movie to how they were written in the book?
I think so for the most part, but you're going to disagree, I think.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I was trying to think. I was like, no, I don't.
I mean, there are moments when I would be like, it doesn't seem right, but overall, I'd say yes.
I was going to say there were quite a few times in our comparing just now when I was like, that's not what she would have done. Or no, that's not what he would have done. Or this is not how that happened. But I think overall,
Okay.
I think maybe I am going to backtrack.
Okay.
Because I think their traumas are different in the movie, which then makes their characters like not different, if that makes sense, but it kind of like the reason they are why they are that way is different, which then changes their character,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I think that's what I would go with.
Okay.
Which do you prefer? I know what you're going to say.
I know what you're going to say.
Movie?
For you?
No, for you.
For me? Yeah.
Book.
So why?
I am Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel that with the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you get a lot more with the book. I feel like it does a good job at opening people's eyes to what can be going on with people, because it's hard to explain things sometimes. Like, I don't think I've ever been able to be like, hey, Allie, this is how I'm feeling.
Right.
I just tell you, hey, Allie, something's up. And you're like, oh, no, let me help.
And I can't.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
So I like that. And I like how personal it feels.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like the movie more because, surprisingly, because I went on about how I love it, how it was written.
Mm-hmm.
I do like how it was written with the letter format,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time,
Well, I bet listening to Dear Friend, Love Charlie all the time was annoying.
no, it really didn't bug me that much. Like that. It just, the jumping, which is funny because I gave this lots of compliments, and I do think it's awesome. For example, when he went to the party and it was like he explained everything, and then he jumped back and
Yeah.
like talked about the dance. And so like I do like it because it's unique, but
It just made it hard.
it made it hard to follow or then like take notes for it. 'Cause
I
I'm
was
like,
just gonna say.
I'm like, but wait, no, you were done with this. Why are you talking about it again? So I think, and where it was like, it
If
was
you
also,
didn't have to take notes, would that have bugged you?
I don't think as much.
Mhm.
No. I think the movie more was, whereas the book was a story to follow too. It was more like personal letters and like we're
Mhm.
learning about Charlie and all this sort of stuff.
Mhm.
Whereas the movie was a movie to watch and follow and like,
Do you think? Because you like happy things. You like.
yes, yes is your answer.
Yeah.
The movie was happier
Yeah.
than the book was.
Mhm. And the movie gives you like a happy ending, and like while the book is a happy-ish ending, it's still very much like, oh,
That's why I said my favorite part of the book was the 20 years later when it's like, congratulations, it gets better. And all. That's so funny. I didn't realize that. Which wasn't even part of the book. Oh, no. Yeah, that's probably it. I guess I
Mhm.
will choose happy. But
Mhm.
I like I said, I really like the book. I like how it was written. I like how unique it was. I like that it gave insight to like me who hasn't dealt with depression.
Yeah.
It's just a hard read when it's like I want to be happy. And I'm so sorry for everyone out there that isn't. And but yeah. But with that, if you are in a situation where you are just not happy and feels like you want to solve a temporary problem permanently, please go out and seek someone, friend, anyone, or the suicide prevention hotline is super easy now.
Yeah.
It is 988.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah.
988 for texting or phone call. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And please, like, the world is better with you here. You're enough. You're wonderful. You're amazing. And I know you're probably rolling your eyes because I'm a girl in a room however many miles away from you, but I mean it. There's someone. You're here for a reason, and I'm happy you're here.
Yeah. I was going to make a joke about your shirt with your backpack.
Oh, not the moment.
Hey, person behind me.
Okay, I got a shirt. Now I have to tell you guys. I have a shirt because I found it before we started reading this, hilariously enough. But it's on the front, it says "You matter," and on the back it says "Dear person behind me," and it's like something like "You're enough, you're fantastic, you're amazing, like
You matter.
you matter. The world is better because you're here." Well, buying it, I didn't realize my purse is a backpack purse. So all people can read is "to the person behind me," and then my backpack covers it all up. I'm so mad. So now whenever I wear that shirt, I have to just like look like a high schooler and just sling my backpack on one shoulder. But it's true. That's the point. Is my shirt is true, and I'm so happy you're here, and the world is better because of it.
Way to end on a happy note.
Of course. See, happy. Got to do the happy.
I'm the depressed for you. What up? All right. Let's talk about, Wednesday, actually. We know what we're doing on Wednesday because this perks book actually comes with topics and questions for discussion. And so Allie and I are going to go through those and talk about them.
There we go.
And discuss them.
Yeah.
So there's our Wednesday mini-sode for you.
But with that, too, just because we have something planned, if you catch anything, probably in Spectacular Now, because that will have come out in time for us to record this.
Yeah.
Tell us, and we'll talk about it.
We
We'll
would
give you
love to
shout
hear from
outs.
you all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you don't want to shout out, like you don't want to say in your full name or something, let us know. We will.
You can sign anonymous if you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dear friend, Charlie.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That would be actually kind of cool.
Yeah. And then, what's on Monday?
Beautiful Creatures.
I'm so excited.
I just started it. It's really good.
I love this series. It's such a good series. I'm sad that the whole series didn't get made into movies.
Just this first one did? Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well. And it's like just this first book. You know how like in the
Are you gonna go to Divergent?
No, I was gonna go to Series of Unfortunate Events. How they crammed 3 into one movie.
Could you imagine if they crammed 4 books into one movie?
Oh no.
Could you imagine if I'm trying to get you to record it on Thursday and not tell you that?
Right.
You finished first book, guess what?
You have to read 3 more.
And they only get larger.
Oh my gosh.
No, they're all really good.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, I'm excited to continue.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okie dokie.
Bye.
Bye.
3 hours later.
Thanks for sticking with us. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, we would greatly appreciate it if you subscribed, rate, and reviewed.
You can also follow us on Facebook at Offscript, Instagram at Offscript Podcast 21, and TikTok at Offscript_pod.
Shoutouts to Madam Ashen Creations for our adorable logo art.
And Adam Daniel for our incredible theme song.
And to Creative Cinephile Productions for producing our podcast. See you next time.